Hello, this is Robert, and in this video I'm going to show how to read a mixture of strings and numbers from a stream. So what I've done is I've set up a stock.txt file, and let's say that we own 12 shares of Microsoft stock at $49.83, and the stock symbol is MSFT. Then suppose we have 15 shares of Apple at $93.40, and there's the stock symbol right there. So we have a mixture of strings and integers and floating point numbers. We took a look at how we can use get and getLine to read C strings from a stream, but now we have a mixture of strings and numbers. So let's take a look at method 1 for reading both strings and numbers from a text file or some other stream. If we take a look at the top of the program, you can see that I have several libraries. I have I/O streams, so I can use cin and cout. cstdlib contain some conversion functions that I would like to use, namely atoy and a2f. And then we have fstream so that I can open files, and then I have iomanip so that I can specify the floating point output that I want. In this case, set precision 2 so that I can see dollars and cents. Then I have several C strings here. I have the stock name, the shares string, the price string, and then the symbol. Then I have an integer for the number of shares, and two doubles, one for the price and one for the total. After I read the shares, the number of shares and the price, I can calculate the total just with multiplication right there. Okay, so let's take a look at method 1 for reading a mixture of strings and numbers from a stream. The first method that we're going to use is to read everything into a set of strings. So I'm going to use getLine to read the stock name, and then the delimiter is the comma. Then I'm going to read the number of shares as a string, and then I also have the comma as a delimiter. Then I'm going to get the price as a string, and then there's the delimiter. This one doesn't need the delimiter at the end because remember that if I leave off the delimiter, it defaults to the new line character. So we're reading the symbol as the last get line right there. Let's take a look at our text file to see what we're going to get. So with the first get line we have right there, we're going to read the stock name. That's going to be Microsoft. The second get line, we're going to read 12 as a string. Then we're going to read 49.83 on the third get line, and then the stock symbol will be the last get line right there. So we would like to convert the shares string and the price string to numbers. This is an integer, so we can use atoy to get, and that is ASCII to integer. Then if we would like to convert the price string to a floating point number, it's a2f. Both of these conversion functions are in the cstdlib right there. So after the conversion, I can use those two values to calculate the total. And then this cout statement will give us this output right here. Method 2 uses extraction that we've been using ever since the beginning of 161. The problem with using extraction, though, is that it will leave the comma in the stream, in this case the comma. The delimiter is the comma. So remember that when reading into an integer or some other number variable, it will read the characters and convert those to an integer or a double, and it will read up until it can't make sense out of the very next character. So it will read the 1 and the 2, and then it can't make sense out of the comma, so it stops reading into shares. So that's why when we do in file shares, it's going to say 12. The problem is that that comma is going to clog up the stream, and so we can't really read the price until after we get rid of the comma. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an ignore method call right there. And if we don't put anything inside of the parentheses, it basically ignores the very next character. So we're going to read 12 shares, then we're going to ignore the comma, and then that way we can go on to read the price next. Okay, so then we're going to just use regular extraction to read the price, then we're going to ignore the next comma, and then we can read the symbol. And again, this is the version of getLine that only has 2 parameters, and so the new line character is the default, which makes sense because we have a new line, or, well, yeah, we have a new line at the end of MSFT right there. Okay, so it's going to read up until the new line, at least on the first line right there. Okay, then we can calculate the total based on the shares and the price, and then the second output line that we have right here will give us this output line right there. Okay, so those are 2 methods for reading a mixture of C strings and numbers from a stream.